Good morning, 7th grade. I hope that we're having a great start to our day and a great week so far. Today's video is going to be all about multiplying integers. So far we've done addition and subtraction, and now we're on to multiplication. So without further ado, let's get to the video.
Today, we're going to be talking about multiplying integers, but let's start with some examples here. So I'm trying to use my sense of pattern recognition in order to help figure this out. So I know that 3 times 3 equals 9, 3 times 2 equals 6, 3 times 1 equals 3, and 3 times 0 equals 0. I know I'm probably going to need something with a 3 here times another number that's going to give me negative 3. If I look, I know that multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition. I know that if I were to go from 0 to 3, I'd be adding 3, 3 to 6, I would be adding 3, and 6 to 9, I would be adding 3. But it also works the same way in reverse. So I think the only way, since this is going down by 1 every time, I think this has to be 3 times negative 1 gives me negative 3. And that is in fact the case. A positive number times a negative multiplied equals a negative number. So I will put it in another way here. So a positive number times a negative number equals a negative number. Let's try something else here. So I see that negative 3 times 3 gives me negative 9. Negative 3 times 2 gives me negative 6. Negative 3 times 1 gives me negative 3. Negative 3 times 0 gives me 0. Well, if I'm keeping up the same pattern, I have negative 3 here, and I'm still going down by 1 every time. I'm still essentially adding by 3, going down. So in fact, I need to multiply by negative 1 here, and I see that two negatives multiplied together gives me a positive. So a negative multiplied by another negative equals a positive. So if I do negative symbol times another negative symbol, that actually equals a positive symbol. So let's try to think about this in terms of some real world examples here. And this is going to be very similar to your exit ticket as well. So generate real world situations that can be modeled by each of the following multiplication problems. Use the integer game as a resource. That's just another game that you could have played. So negative 3 times 5. So for something like this, I can say I lost 3 pounds for 5 months. Or lost 3 pounds each month for 5 months. So I lost 15 pounds. Or in net, the change, overall change, was negative 15. Negative 6 times negative 3. Now, a negative times a negative, when we're thinking about it in a real world, can actually be pretty difficult. But we need to think about negative signs as like taking away, sort of like how we were thinking about negatives when we were thinking about adding or subtracting negatives, taking away weight or other things like that. So I can think about this as if I were to remove 6 $3 debts. Debts that I had. So really, what happened was I paid $18, okay? Because a negative times a negative gives me a positive. And this last one, it can be thought of as I were to lose $7 4 months in a row. And again, there are a lot of different examples that you can come up with for this kind of stuff, but these are just some real world examples we can think of. Negatives as losing or taking away, positives could be giving or gaining or other things like that. But let's take it to our lesson summary. So in the end, our lesson summary, to multiply signed numbers, multiply the absolute values to get the absolute value of the product. The sign of the product is positive if the factors have the same sign and negative if they have opposite signs. So let's break it down. If I have a positive times another positive, that's going to give me a positive. If I have a negative times another negative, that's also going to give me a positive because they are the same sign. If I have a positive times a negative, it's going to give me a negative. And if I have a negative times a positive, that is also going to give me another negative. So that's really all that I have for the video today. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below or message me on Schoology. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have a great rest of your week.